Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Sorry, vaping. Hope everyone's doing well. I thought we'd use the Mystic Monday deck today. Let's see if we can't get a follow-up to yesterday. That was kind of a weird reading yesterday, so. Justice. Perfectly balanced scales, right? So, it's the number 11 card, which is not only a balance on either side, but it is a reflection, right? A 1 and a 1. And if you look at the card, there's perfect symmetry in that, right? And even in the fingers and the fingernails, you don't see the whole hand, you just see two. And the two can only balance when you hold that third one in the middle. So you can't have a balance of mind and body without spirit, or mind and spirit without body, or body and spirit without mind. So I think it's telling us that there's a left, right, and center, and it's time to focus on center in order for the feminine and masculine energies within you to balance. When you get too far into one or the other, the only way to balance them back out is to come back to center. We can't stay in that full-blown receptive mode all the time with no action. And we can't stay in full action mode without allowing some of the receptive energies and the resting energies to come forward. So I think that's what this card is telling us, is that it's time to center. I know yesterday's reading was kind of weird. It was more or less going within and figuring out what the block was. And I think this is being a little more revealing as to what that meant with the block. Are you too docile? Are you too, I don't want to say too nurturing, because there's never such a thing as too nurturing, but, well, I guess, yeah, there is, right? So if we never let our toddlers fall, then they never learn to walk, right? So at some point you have to take action and, hold their hands as they're walking across the room, and then maybe you and your significant other sit across the room from each other, and you just sit back and let the baby, safely fall and learn their balance. And it's in that balance that you teach them their balance, right? So it's in that, it's in your actions that you are teaching others how to find their balance. To the Knight of Wands, which is, this is very sacral chakra to me with the colors, right? And he's got a new idea, and he's taking hold of it, or it's taking hold of coming to fruition. It's something new, but moving very quickly towards it, grabbing onto it and embracing it. I'm actually going to read the Knight of Wands. I get a little troubled with the court cards. I know the Knights are what I consider to be the teenagers, and teenagers move forward with reckless abandon is the word that comes to mind there. Free-spirited, passion, creativity, travel. I don't really see travel in this one. I do see free spirit and passion and creativity. Wands are creation and destruction. So keep in mind that you cannot create something new until you destroy something old. And I think that's where we get this Five of Wands, right? It is laying down the jealousy, laying down the fighting, laying down the competition. It is the end of all that. And it's when we learn to work together as a team that those things can come together. This new idea of befriending your enemy in a way, and that could be metaphoric. It doesn't have to be a person. Have you ever heard that saying, you are your own worst critic, right? It's time to lay that down and time to embrace the confidence. I read something this morning that confidence is not just having a feeling about being able to do something well. It is actually just the willingness to try. That is what begets confidence. And it's a circular graphic, and I will, these are not my words or my theory. It is, I will give credit to her. Her name is Mel Robbins. You can find her on YouTube. But when she speaks of confidence, it's literally the willingness to try. So she does this graphic, and at the top it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's fail, and then it is learn, and then back to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So in that Fibonacci sequence, each time you try again, you're coming at it with a little more knowledge and a little more wisdom with which to be successful. So the confidence portion is literally that top portion of being willing to try. And I think that speaks volumes of this reading, where, you know, this laying down the burdens, you don't have to have all this knowledge that you can do something well before you do it, because nobody can do something well until they've practiced. You know, even if we go back to the story about the baby walking, you know, we've been doing it for so long that we don't think about how hard it is for that child to get up and try to do that. You know, I saw on Facebook one of the zoos, I can't remember which one it was, had a baby giraffe. And you see this little giraffe as seconds after it's born, trying to stand up, and the legs are wobbly and they're weak, and that giraffe didn't give up, you know. And that's what's unique about humans versus animals, I think, is animals just follow their instincts. You know, they just do it. They don't question it. There's no emotion in it, right? Whereas humans, we add all this stupid emotion and self-doubt and overthinking, and we make mountains out of molehills, and it's just ridiculous the way that we talk ourselves out of being able to do something instead of continuing to try. So, you know, I see this as a harmony of knowing that you can't be good at everything the first time you try it. You just can't, you know. And some of you, actually, no, I'll say some of us that had parents that expected perfection in school and or sports or whatever you did. You know, they just, unless you were the best, you had to try harder, you had to keep going, right? You could never rest until you achieved that first place position. And then I'm thinking that movie Talladega Nights, I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's hysterical. You had to have seen it by now. Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. And it's so ridiculous because, you know, obviously there's, I think at the end, even his father says, well, that's ridiculous because there's a second, third, fourth, fifth, you know, whatever. And really, in the current state of 5D, we're all first or we're all last, right? We can only get to first place by helping others also get to first place. That literally is the magic. That's where laying down these competitions and bringing peace and harmony to your relationships is literally the answer to getting you back to this balance. You know, it's thinking about things in a new way. It's thinking about relationships in a new way. I mean, relationships are the only reason we're here. It's literally what teaches us, right? It is the contrast behind. I mean, with this card, if the background was the same color as the person, you wouldn't see it. It would just blend. You have to have a contrasting background. And that's where our relationships come in. That's what those other people represent, is that contrasting background. So when they show you things that you don't like, you have to be mindful to make sure that you're not displaying those characteristics, or that you're not being that way, you know, if you will. Because you don't know what you want till you know what you don't want. I mean, it's just, you know, you don't know that you like vanilla until you figure out you don't like chocolate. Who knows? I mean, it's weird. This world we live in is weird. To the Two of Wands, which is, I mean, look at that. That is, again, perfect symmetry. You know, look at the symmetry on these cards. It's an exact equal balance of both sides of feminine and masculine. And then Two of Wands is waiting for results, making just travel planning, again with the travel, right? So with these two cards, they both speak of travel. And the travel doesn't have to be, you know, actual travel, although it could be. You may have a trip coming up or something to that effect, and that might be your clue as to what this reading is about. I myself have a trip coming up in a couple weeks, and it could be that this balance, this peace, harmony, this new decision, this planning is about that situation. For me, it probably is. You guys might have something else happening, but the travel could be travel in your mind, right? These don't have to be exact tangible things, right? They could be metaphoric. So think about the metaphor of traveling, right? Like daydreaming is a way of traveling, right? Or dreaming at night when you're sleeping is a way of traveling. You know, they call that astral travel. So maybe your answers are coming to you that way. Maybe you're learning that balance and finding that peace and harmony by traveling outside of your comfort zone, by doing things you've never done before, by taking on new ideas. You know, you got to look at things differently, guys. We've been living in a world of duality for so long, and we have been taught these things by our parents and our teachers and our friends and whatnot. And it's unlearning all of that and looking at things completely new. And what we don't see coming is Two of Swords in reverse, again with the symmetry. I mean, it's just amazing. Two of Swords in reverse is confusion, indecision, overload, of compromise. Don't allow that. Don't allow that confusion, right? This is, to me, is conflict. It almost looks like oh, what's that Peter Pan guy, Captain Hook, at odds with himself, right? And if you think about it, Captain Hook represented that dark side, right? And that dark side can be at odds. You can be at odds with that for coming up, you know, and beat yourself up for those bad things. Embrace them. Embrace them, find peace, find a reason that they happened, trace them back to the beginning, question everything, and then you can release them. And when you release them, they cease to exist. You know, just let them go. I know there's probably people around you that don't want to let certain things go, whatever. That's their broken, not yours. Okay? Not yours. And beyond that, you have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So that is balance of resources. That's equal give and take. But when you talk about it in the reverse, it's selfish and debt, right? Don't let these things come to fruition, guys. Use your Empress energy. Know that everything that you need is right there within reach. And you can get everything you need from the earth. And from a place of love. Look at these colors, right? We've got so much orange and blue and purple and very little green up until here. You need to come from a place of love because you're going to see things that you're not going to see them. They're not going to be obvious at first. You know, these are the things, the underlying things that you don't see. And look at the color coding. How cool is that? When they literally, everything matches. So your balance, you know, find that balance in the conflict, in the shadow, right? And thinking that stinginess, that resources are going to run out. Look at that a new way. Look at those a new way. Use your Empress energy. Come from a place of love. Be that nurturing mom energy and lay down that conflict. Bring peace and harmony to the situation. And what you don't see coming is off in the future. It's off in the distance. It's traveling to that place. And you don't know what's going to happen until you get there. Right? Lots of energy today of doing things differently, looking at them in a different way. Tell me about this Justice card. What is this balance that we're needing to find? And 4 cups. In this card, I mean, she's offering her cup, and he's just not even willing to look at it, not even willing to entertain it. And the 4 of Cups, to me, I don't know if you guys have been watching my channel very long, but has always meant has always meant to me that I always hear that saying, the 3rd time's the charm. Well, the 3rd time's the charm because you have to try that one more time to make it the 4th, right? It's this river of emotion. It's this crying in the spilled milk. If he would just look up and see, there's one more time. You need the knowledge gained from these 3 attempts for this 4th attempt to work. And that's what this balanced justice is keep going. You know, you've come so far, keep going. Balance it out. Understand that your failures are really small successes because there's knowledge to be gained. When you can look at it that way, then you're balancing out that I'm a failure with I'm a winner, right? Use the opposite energy. And then the Knight of Wands is clarified with the 4 of Pentacles. Now we've got 2 4s. So 4 of Pentacles is being stingy, right? That's this energy of stinginess. You're definitely being stingy, either with your time, with your money, with your resources, with whatever. It's only when we give it away that it can come back. If you hang on to it, it can never be returned to you, right? It's a flow. It is give and take. You can't receive something that you've never given away, is what keeps coming to mind. And when you see things differently, when you look at it differently like that, then things can change. You know, then your blessings or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest can come back. But until you give them away, they can't come back. You can't get something for nothing. Let's clarify this Empress with the 5 of Wands. What is the Empress with the 5 of Wands? What is the harmony? What is this Empress? 5 of Wands. Empress and 5 of Wands, please. We have the Empress clarified with the opposite Empress. Peace and harmony, guys. Find the balance of those energies. Double Empress, I mean, that's a huge message right there. Empress in reverse is dependency on others. Empress in upright is abundance and good parenting. So did you want to be the parent or the child? But there has to be harmony in it. And sometimes you're the parent, sometimes you're the child. Sometimes you're the teacher, sometimes you're the student. And you have to learn to be both. At the same time, sometimes even it can be kind of crazy. You know, it's when you're teaching someone else that you end up learning something new yourself. And, you know, that brings us back to learning that idea, embracing that idea, you know, finding balance to it, trying that 4th time, giving away your resources, knowing in the past, I know when I was in my 20s and 30s, when you worked at a job, it was very looked down upon to teach everybody else what you knew because it was job security to know those things and be the only one that knew them. You know what's wrong with that picture? When it comes to overtime, you're the only one that can stay. When it comes to, you know, you don't want to back yourself into a corner where you're the only one. Because if we're all trying to plan for our retirement, yeah, that's not a good way to go about it, okay? I mean, think about it. We're so stupid when we're younger, aren't we? The best thing to do is to teach everyone around you how to do it. Maybe you charge for teaching them, you know, and that's how you pay your bills. But if you work yourself into a corner of being the only one that can do your job, that's not exactly gonna get you to a retirement spot, right? So keep that in mind, okay? And what is this moon with the Two of Wands? What is the Moon with the Two of Wands? What's unclear? What do we not see coming in the future? I literally feel like that's the question. What do we not see coming? Even though that was what we didn't see coming. There's, oh, it fell. Flip, see, and it's trying to hide. It doesn't want to be seen. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. These are planting seeds. Seven of Pentacles is planting seeds and seeing it come back. And maybe that's you're not seeing it yet. You know, you're not seeing the results of your manifestations. You're not seeing your you're not seeing the plants that come up after you plant the seeds. It's giving up too soon. You know, it's all about to happen, guys. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's a little tweak. Remember we talked about yesterday, a little tweak between and or. And I heard a lecture yesterday about channeling, right? And when we channel, it's literally just being quiet enough to hear God speaking to us. And a lot of times, maybe we hear it wrong. You know, maybe we're not listening enough or close enough or quiet enough, and we hear it wrong. You know, and maybe, I think the example that Michael Merdad used was, write this book, it'll be worth $1 million, right? So you write the book, publish it, you spend $1 million, you know, $10,000, I think he said, to publish the book, and you've got pallets and pallets of these books in your garage, and nobody wanted it. And then he goes back to say that the message that actually was, write the book, it'll be worth $1 million to you. Meaning, go journal about it. Go write about it. Write a diary, you know, but we stopped. We didn't listen the whole way. We didn't hear the whole message. And I feel like that's a little bit of what this is, right? You've planted seeds. You've put your heart's desire out there. Tweak it just a little bit. And then when you hear your messages, when you hear your inspirations, ask for them to be clarified, just like we ask the cards to be clarified. Make sure you're understanding it fully. And you're not just running off half-cocked with this action and it turns into a disaster, right? Yeah, I think that's the message for today. Just tweak it just a little bit, guys. Look for those words. Look for the ands to be replaced with ors, or ors to be replaced with ands. Because it makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference in your manifestations. So I do have another channel called Your Words. We do talk about these kind of things with the words and go through and learn how to identify and uncover those words. So check out my other channel. But I am going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. And we will talk again soon. Love and light.